Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please hit subscribe. I post new videos every Saturday. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my 32-week pregnancy update. So I am pregnant with my second baby boy due on June 24th, and I turn over a new week every Wednesday, and so today is Friday, so I am exactly 32 weeks and 2 days pregnant while I'm filming. It's crazy how fast this pregnancy has flown by. This week at work I filled out my leave of absence paperwork, which means I have 4 more weeks of work and 8 more weeks until baby's gonna be here. That's so crazy. Last week I did a video about all of the baby prep that we have done so far, so make sure you go check that one out, and there's definitely another one coming. So I've been using a couple of different pregnancy apps. The first one is Pregnancy Plus, and then I use Ovia Pregnancy and also What to Expect. So according to those apps, he is now 17.2 inches long and 4.23 pounds. And he can officially use all 5 of his senses. His skin is no longer translucent or transparent. It's now how it's going to look when he's born. And all of his organs are fully developed except for his lungs. His lungs are the only thing now that have to develop. So as for cravings, I haven't been having any cravings whatsoever these past couple weeks. Food aversions, I haven't had any of those either. However, I do feel like my appetite has subsided substantially. I feel like I kind of have to force myself to eat, which isn't really a good thing. So I've still been experiencing some of the same symptoms, which are the heartburn, which has been really, really bad. I ran out of my Gaviscon that I've been talking about, and I couldn't find any on Amazon, so I finally ordered some from Target, and that finally came in yesterday. But it's been so bad. It's been an all-day thing. I actually threw up from it the other night just because it was so bad. And I think that's a main reason why my appetite has gone down so much, just because it's so uncomfortable to even think about food. So I'm also still feeling very emotional. I hear anything that's a little bit sad and I just start crying ridiculously. I'm still having a lot of the shortness of breath, and my heart, it feels like it's just pounding out of my chest anytime I walk down the hallway or something. I have to sit down because I just feel like I can't breathe. Which brings me to a new symptom that I've been feeling. So I've been feeling very lightheaded and dizzy this past week. I feel like I can't be on my feet for more than 30 seconds without needing to sit down. Otherwise I feel like I could faint at any time. And I remember dizziness was a huge symptom I had in my first trimester, but I don't think I've had it really since then. But it's definitely returned, and my doctor thinks it's just because my uterus is growing and putting pressure on places that is stopping blood flow, basically. So she says it's normal, just listen to my body, and so that's what I've been doing. I've been sitting down any chance that I can. So I've also been experiencing a lot of fatigue. I've been really tired these past couple weeks. I feel like that second trimester boost of energy, disappeared. I feel like I'm in my first trimester again, and I just want to take a nap all the time. I'm so tired. And I feel like that has a lot to do with the blood flow. Since I've been getting lightheaded, my blood flow isn't flowing properly, and it's also making me really tired. So I think that's probably all that is. So something new that's been happening is my gums are starting to bleed. So when I'll brush my teeth, I'll just be spitting out blood, basically. I know that's a common symptom of pregnancy, but I haven't experienced it until now. So I know I mentioned before that I thought my breasts were growing because my bras don't really fit me anymore. And I have actually noticed that I'm getting stretch marks on my boobs. So they're definitely growing, and I'm gonna have to be getting some new bras because these ones just are not cutting it anymore. Okay, so in my last pregnancy update, I mentioned that I've been having this pain in my back, and I thought that he was maybe leaning on an organ or just pushing up against something. So that video went live on Saturday, 2 weeks ago. And the night that went live, it hit me again, and I was in so much pain that I thought I was in labor. It was so excruciating. I was crying, I was vomiting. It was only on my left side, exactly where my kidney would be. So I started researching, could this be back labor? It didn't feel, like contractions, but the pain was so bad it was giving me contractions. The only thing that semi-relieved the pain was hunched over in the shower, letting the hot water hit my back. So close to telling Roger to take me to the hospital. I think I'm going into labor. No, I don't think it's labor because it's not coming in waves. It's very consistent. The pain was very consistent. It did not go away. It was only in my kidney area, and I was researching, and back labor is supposed to be in your lower back, not, upper middle back. And so we thought, since I've had this pain before and it went away, that it maybe was a kidney stone moving through. And so that's what I kind of just like brushed it off to be a kidney stone. I'm like, well, what are they going to do for a kidney stone? They can give me a CT to confirm that it's a kidney stone, but I can't take any pain medications and I can't really do anything else. And I don't want to expose my baby to radiation if I don't need to. So I didn't go to the doctor for it. I didn't go to the hospital. The pain lasted about an hour and a half, and then it went away. And it hasn't come back since. Up until yesterday, that's what I was thinking it was just a kidney stone. Maybe it passed, maybe it didn't, maybe it'll come back. I don't know. But I mentioned the pain to my doctor. So she said it sounds to her like it could be hydronephrosis. So what that is basically fluid buildup in one or both kidneys, which for me, it was just the one. It was just my left side. And she says it's actually pretty common to happen in pregnancy. She's had women go to the hospital thinking that they're in labor, which is how I felt. Like, the pain was so excruciating. And she says it's common. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to kind of wait. It's just caused by your uterus putting pressure up against your kidney, which is kind of what I thought was happening. Yeah, she basically said there's nothing you can do except treat the pain. And I mean, I haven't had the pain since then, so I'm just kind of hoping it doesn't come back, but it sounds like that's what that is. So my doctor's appointment was Thursday, which was yesterday, and that night I went pee and I experienced some spotting. And this is my second pregnancy. I'm 32 weeks. I have never experienced any kind of bleeding or spotting in pregnancy at all up until yesterday. I never had any implantation bleeding or literally anything. It was just a very, very tiny amount. Like, you could have easily missed it, but it was bright pink, it wasn't brown, and it scared me to death. I want to say that happened around 5 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, and I was kind of like panicking. And I went pee again around like 8, and I wiped again, and there was a little bit of blood again on the toilet paper. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna see what happens. I don't want to call my doctor for something stupid if it's nothing. And so this morning when I went pee, there was no blood, so that's good. But that did happen this time, so that was really scary. I've never experienced that before. And last thing that I've been experiencing are Braxton Hicks contractions. So like I said about my whole kidney situation, the pain was so bad it was giving me contractions, and since then I've been having Braxton Hicks. And in a previous pregnancy update, I remember I mentioned that I didn't know what Braxton Hicks contractions felt like. I couldn't tell if it was the baby putting pressure up against my stomach or if it was a contraction. But no, since then, I can definitely tell that these are the Braxton Hicks contractions, which is kind of exciting. That makes me feel like this pregnancy is moving along in the way it's supposed to. I never had any with Liam. When I had him at 39 weeks via scheduled C-section, I wasn't effaced at all. I wasn't dilated at all. And so I'm hoping that this is going to kind of tell my body what it needs to do properly to have a successful VBAC. Which brings me to my next point. I did sign that paperwork for the consent to have a VBAC, and it has been cleared. So I am officially in the clear to have a VBAC if everything goes right, if he's in the right position. If nothing crazy happens to where I need an emergency C-section, then I am in the clear. So that's very exciting news. I did have her feel my belly and see if she could tell what position he's in, and it feels like he is head down. So that is so exciting. I really hope he stays that way. When I get further along, she said she'll do an ultrasound if she's having any kind of doubts on his position, but she's like, I'm pretty sure that's his head right there. So the next thing I want to mention is that I am pregnant during this pandemic, and I potentially may give birth during a pandemic. I have no idea what the situation is going to look like at the end of June. So I asked her, I know it's kind of soon for me to be thinking about this. I am only 32 weeks. But I asked her about the hospital situation right now and what it's looking like. And she says, still, you're only allowed to have your husband in the room. You can't have any other visitors. You are required to wear a mask during the whole laboring process. She said she did have a patient who did take her mask off during delivery while she was pushing, and no one seemed to have a problem with that. But I also asked her if she thinks that this is going to be going on when I have my baby, and she says, honestly, in 2 months, this is probably going to be completely different. So fingers crossed. I'm honestly starting to hope that I can make it until July, just to give it a little bit more time for this whole thing to be over. The last thing I want to do is give birth wearing a mask and only have my husband in the room, not being able to see my son for a couple of days. This is just craziness and I can't wait for it to end. So next I wanted to mention my weight. So I started out this pregnancy at 151 pounds. I lost a total of 6 pounds in my first trimester to bring me to 146. And on my 30-week pregnancy update, I mentioned I weighed 156 pounds. Since those 2 weeks, I have actually lost 1 pound. So as of Wednesday when I weighed myself, I was 155 pounds. So like I said, I haven't had the best appetite, but losing weight is not a good thing. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. So I'm going to start forcing myself to eat a little bit more. And my doctor didn't mention anything about my weight, so I don't think she's concerned about it at all. But I did forget to ask her, you know, like, is this safe? Is this healthy? Because I'm not comfortable with losing weight in my 3rd trimester. Alrighty, well now it's time to show you guys that bump shot. Alrighty, well thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.